Welcome, everybody. It is Saturday night. It's 8 p.m. on the West Coast, and this is Raw Comedy, brought to you by SuitMan Productions. Let's make some noise, guys. Everyone's muted. Unmute yourself. Make some noise. Let's know that we have an audience here. Woo! Yeah, that's what I like to hear. Yeah. 2 people excited for this show, but that's all right. Welcome, everyone. I'm your host, Christian-Weidner of Living Room Comedy, and once a month, I join forces with Dante Barnett of SuitMan, and we bring you raw, ridiculously amazing women. See, they're so freaking ridiculously amazing, I forget how to say the damn words. But words are hard. You'll figure that out. I'm doing my best, okay? We are like knee-deep into seasonal depression now. I don't know if you guys can tell, but like, I combat the shit with just violent amounts of cheer. This is like, yeah, we've got some baubles going on. We've got candy canes. There's some snowflakes. I got more lights on the outside of my house. People are stopping by looking for gingerbread strippers. This shit is insane. But, you know, we're trying to cut back on the Zoloft, and we're substituting with chocolate chip cookies. And, you know, I don't know, man, a lot of holiday baking. Some of it weed, some of it cookies, but I don't know. It's going to get us through the season while we're at home still for what seems like 9 million years. But, oh, Jeebus Christmas. I don't know if you guys have heard about this COVID thing, but it has killed my social life. Speaking of social lives, we have got a great group of people together for you today. So without further ado, let's get this party rolling. You guys, our first performer's joining us from New York. They're coming to us from Brooklyn. She's been on my mic a few times, and I love what she brings. So you guys, give it up. Put your hands together. Bring a lot of great energy for Anna Lorenz.
Yeah. What's up, people? No need to woo. It's unearned. Hi, my name is Anna. My pronouns are you, yours, because that's how conversation works. I live in Brooklyn. Before COVID, I used to work in court. I'm a court interpreter. My language was Russian, so my cases, just about all of them involved alcohol. Although my favorite case was an eviction proceeding. It was a woman who tried to evict her roommate from their shared apartment. And then in the course of the case, it turned out that she had already tried to do it another way because, well, she thought her roommate was possessed, like by demons. So she tried to follow her around the apartment and like sprinkle holy water on her, wave a wooden cross around. Like legally speaking, that is kind of bullshit. I mean, for one thing, so what if the roommate was possessed? Like, who cares? This is America, goddammit. Like, you can be possessed if you want to be. It's her body, her choice. And secondly, New York has a thing called tenants' rights. So if you can't just evict somebody for having a religious disagreement with you. If you want to exorcise a demon from your apartment, that demon needs a 90-day notice. I used to hear a lot of interesting expressions in court from, especially from older male attorneys who for some reason think they need to sound really folksy when they talk. Like they'll use idioms like one attorney would say that his drunk driving clients were bone dry. Why do we say that? Why do we say that things are bone dry? All of your bones are wet. Like, think about it. Your bones are wet inside and out all the time. And if any of your bones ever go dry, something horrible is happening to you. Another expression he liked was one-trick pony. And that one really puzzles me, because why is that even an insult? How many tricks is a pony supposed to know? Before it's granted basic respect? It's just a farm animal. I mean, he didn't attend Pony Juilliard. Even if he knows one trick, that's already impressive. And you don't even know what kind of trick it is yet. Like, what if it's an amazing trick? What if the pony can saw a lady in half? Like, can you imagine seeing a pony saw a lady in half and then being like, okay, that's one trick. What else can I do? I'm 37 now. Yes, that is exactly the amount of enthusiasm that deserves. Yeah, and the 37 is like that age where men start adding qualifiers to their compliments. You don't look great at 37. You look great for 37. Yep.
Oh yeah.
The ladies are like, you. And that is unfair, right? Because we only use that for women of a certain age. We don't use that. When we see someone's baby, we don't go like, "Aw, he's beautiful," for a newborn. I mean, and we should, because, like, babies are gross. Most of my friends have them now. They have babies, they have toddlers. I just have an old cat. I think it's about, honestly, I am not qualified to give my opinion on small children, but I think it's about the same as having an old cat, right? Because, like, at every point during the day, someone's probably shitting on your floor. And then it's going to scream because it's hungry. And you're going to need to offer it a variety of stinky, mushy food to eat. And they're going to refuse. And eventually you'll have 5 things in front of them and they'll maybe eat a little bit of one thing. But there's the only real difference between owning like a toddler and a grumpy elderly cat is if you accidentally step on your cat, there won't be an inquest. Not much enthusiasm for the cat killing joke? Okay. All right, on that happy note, I think I'm gonna wrap up. Thanks, guys.
Everybody keep it going for Anna Lorenz joining us out of Brooklyn, New York.
Right.
Oh my God. You know, we do have something in common, Anna. I hate kids.
There you go. Fuck them kids.
Yeah, I have kids.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I like kids. And when friends my age announce their pregnancies, I'm like, why? Why are you starting over? At almost 40, what the hell is wrong with you? You were
almost done.
Plans for swinging during my midlife crisis. Come on. Jesus Christ. All right. Oh, sorry, bro. Didn't mean to take your name in the veins and stuff. All right, let's keep the party rolling. We're going to take it over to Washington, D.C., where I guess there's some turmoil going on. I don't know. I quit watching the news. I hate that show. They were totally jumping the shark at one point. Anyway, from Washington, D.C., one of my very good friends, and I'm not just saying that. You're going to hear that a freaking lot during this show, but I mean every bit of it. Put your hands together. Let's give a big warm welcome for Lydi Otis.
Hooray.
One of my many Facebook names. Thank you very much, Tara. It is great to be here. Yeah, I'm in Washington, D.C. I've tuned it out. I went through all the excitement a few weeks ago, and now I'm done. It was exciting. I'll tell you about it some other time. You know what? At least you have a cat. That's all I can say. You know what? I live with my mom now, and she doesn't let me have any pets, man. No pets allowed, which sucks. You know, though, I've kind of gotten around it. I've made her my pet. That's what I've done. I've just kind of transferred her into my pet, which she hates. She's like, can you please stop blowing weed in my face and kicking me across the living room floor? And I'm like, well, can you stop chewing my underwear and leaving it at my bedroom door? Thanks. Went through all that training. You signed the paper. I mean, come on, man. You know, it's expensive. Yeah, it's a crazy time now. You know, COVID's a weird thing. Speaking of mothers, people were telling me this in the beginning that COVID is like, it's just Mother Nature's way of teaching us a lesson. It's just Mother Nature's way of teaching us a lesson. A lot of people were saying that, and I'm like, okay, I guess, but what does that say about her parenting skills? You know, frankly, I'm like, somebody call CPS on this bitch. That is terrible. Frankly, anyway, whatever. My mom's better than Mother Nature. I think she's at the door with my chewed underwear, so I better calm down. As you can see, I'm moving around a lot. I have a lot of anxiety. I'm in front of this weird red background that I put up for you guys. I get a lot of shit for my red background. A lot of people are like, it looks like a tongue or a colon or whatever. Actually, you know what? I do this because I want you to see what the inside of my heart looks like. But I didn't want to stand in front of a black hole, so I put a red thing. I don't know. We'll see. And anyway, if you think it looks like a heart. Does it? Is it beating? Is it beating like my heart is beating? I do have a lot of anxiety. You know what? I've decided, though, how I'm going to deal with it from now on. My depression, I just ignore, right? Because it's boring. I'm like, you know what? You need to bring me more if you want me to notice you. Thank you very much. My anxiety, I just let it run rampant. I think that is the thing that I've settled on. After all these years, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to let it run rampant. You know what I mean? It's fine. Like, it's kind of fun. You know what I mean? It gets me out of bed in the morning. And compared to depression, it burns a lot more calories. Seriously. You know what I mean? Yeah, like, I'm not going to say I'm beach ready. I'm not beach ready, but I'm getting close to a pool in the parking lot of a Midwestern Econo Lodge in mid-April ready. I'm there. You know what I mean? I'm like, we're halfway to grandma's. I'm day drinking. Let's go for a dip in the pool in our yoga pants. Come on, baby. Let's do it. Why not? I do love doing Zoom comedy, which is strange. I didn't think I was going to love it. And I'm doing so much of it. It's really wild. It's like I'm finally feeling like I'm chasing my dream of doing stand-up, which is great. Apparently, all it took for me to all that was standing in between me and my dream was a 20-minute ride to a venue because I could never seem to show up to those. But here I am, no problem, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not chasing it aggressively, and some people get on me for that, but I just I figured out what it is. You know, I'm not interested in, I don't want to be famous. I don't have any interest in being famous at all. Don't want to be famous because it sounds terrible, frankly. Like once, you know, I don't want to be famous, but I do want to get famous. That would be fun. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to like if famous is like a monster, I want to like run up and like just touch it and then like run away straight into obscurity for the rest of eternity. Like, then I'll be good. I'll be golden. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, so I'm pacing my stardom. I'm a late bloomer. I am pacing my stardom. Some people call it failure. I call it the crock pot of success because it's not like I want success, but I also want longevity. You know what I mean? Like I want to make it to 120 because why not? Like I think it'd be great just to be there like dangling, like you can't get rid of me. It's illegal. You know what I mean? Like I think that would be fantastic. And the thing is like you have a certain amount of, you have a certain span of time where if you use up all your talent juice, then you kaput. You know what I mean? And like I don't, like Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Tupac Shakur, Amy Winehouse, Lassie. All of them just gone before their time, Not me, baby. You know what? Like I said, I want to make it to 120 and, you know, I think I have like I have time. I can coast until like 90. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do everything. I'm just going to bust out and do everything I was way too repressed and intimidated to do when I was younger. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to do comedy full time. I'm going to open an NGO with a bunch of strippers called Helping Ass Hoes. And we're just going to go around and make people feel good. I know. I want to open up a strip joint for the elderly called the Soft Pole. Right? And here's the thing, it's going to be a really cool place. Everybody's got to be seated, even the dancers. Okay? And there's no lap dances unless you count like from the cats that are walking around, whatever. Free pussy, what can I say? I also would like to start maybe a podcast where I'm going, these are going to be my guests. My only guests are going to be porn stars from now, but like 80 years into the future, right? And they're just going to be telling like stories from back in the day. And it's going to be called Pearl Necklaces of Wisdom. Whatever. Anyway, what have I got? I've got 3 minutes to say more stuff about getting old and being happy and doing all of that. I'll tell you who's inspired me is Kamala Harris. You know what I mean? I'm so happy that she's going to be in the White House. You know, finally, ladies, some representation. Yes. And it's not only that. For me, it goes deeper, right? She is 5'2". Guess who else is 5'2"? Yep, you messed it. KJ, stop acting surprised. That is not. have a tiny person's face through and through, but like she has inspired me to pursue my cuteness. You know what I mean? I've never thought of cute, because when you're short, you always get the cute thing, no matter how jacked up you look. It really doesn't matter. People always think you're cute. Oh, they're like, oh, look at her, look, go, and all that kind of stuff. But the thing is, I always thought it was a bullshit perk because it doesn't do it. Like it doesn't, cute doesn't pay. Let's just be honest, okay? Gorgeous pays, okay? Ugly can pay. It can. But you got to be like super like niche ugly, like not invited back to the plasma center ugly. And then you can make a little, niche career on that. But cuteness, I never thought it would do anything for me, but now I think it might save my life. So that's why I'm working on it. I want to, here's some disambiguation. By working on my cuteness, I don't mean I'm going to quit drinking and stop sleeping on my face. That is not what I'm talking about, okay? I'm going to do some other things to get myself in shape for the old folks home. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I am alone and I'm broke and I'm probably going to end up in like one of those awful state-run facilities. It's not going to be like premier senior living. I'm going to be with the granny killers. You know what I mean? And I need to do anything I can to get myself into a position where they don't want to smother me. I want to be the cutest, funniest, most unsmotherable old lady, and I need to start now, okay? So I'm working on it. I'm shrinking day by day, one step closer to ultimate cuteness. I'm learning how to twerk, right? Because they'll love that, okay? And I'm working on my wardrobe, because here's what I figured out, okay? Baby boomers are going to be the best old senile people to take care of. And you know why? Because when they go senile, they're going to harken back to the hippie days. And what were they wearing? All that flowing cotton hippie stuff. You don't need to do anything. Give them some mushrooms, put them out in the field, and when you need to clean them up, easy peasy, right? But
Yes.
Oh my God. Yes. Yes.
Gen X are going to be the first old people to harken back to skinny jeans, okay? Nobody wants to pull that off your gummy butt, okay? Especially you're gonna be all emo, smelling like clove cigarettes. Forget it, man. You know what I mean? So I've thrown out all my tight-fitting clothes. I'm just going full moo-moo from now on because I'm trying to build that muscle memory from now. You know what I mean? And I can picture it. Like I visualize the future. I'm in that room. There's a few of us there. Those cranky orderlies come in and they're like, "Which one should we get? Which one should we get?" Right? And they'll look over at me, and the one will go, "Not her. She tells a mean dick joke, and look at that moo-moo. Go over there and get the cranky one in the corner who's wearing the tapered capris." All right? I think that is my time. Thank you very much. This has been a blast. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Hooray.
Woo! Keep the noise going for Lydi Otis. I swear every time she tells that joke, I am wearing tapered capris.
Me too.
Yeah. These are even the distressed ones. I'm super
No.
fucking trendy. Yeah, I will be the first granny to go. No, okay, second. Brittany will be first. All right. Let's keep the party rolling. We're going to bring it back over to the West Coast. We're hitting Portland, Oregon, where we're always keeping it weird. And we're going to make a lot of weird noise for our next comedian. Put your hands together. Help me welcome Dalia Bell.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I do not keep it weird at all. I keep it cute. I make all my money by being cute. Thank you very much. I will say it is fortunate for you that I was not assigned female at birth because I would be a monster. Are you kidding? If half the men I had met from puberty up till now had been willing to buy me things in hopes of having sex with me, I would have destroyed all your lives. I would not be able to stop myself. And anytime I say that, I need to be very clear that the majority of women have no desire at all to exploit or manipulate men for financial gain. But I would, and it's not always about you, okay? I just happen to know myself and my own personal skills. Okay, I'm very good at finding cute outfits at a reasonable price. I have almost no gag reflex. I can fit a fist up my ass up to the elbow. I just don't like clocking in for work. You know, I just know what I'm good at. I was born to be a housewife is my point. Or a sex worker, same difference. Anyhow, I'm so glad to be here. This morning, what was very difficult for me, I farted into my vagina. That happened. It happens to us all once or twice. It's it's disturbing to me, not because you're farting into your vagina, you know, autovaginal flatulence. It happens. What disturbs me is that it's never really in the vagina. It's just over the outside of the vulva, just like, and in bubbles for some reason. And I've never seen fart bubbles out of water, and I'm not underwater. And yet it feels like if I were to pull my sweatpants down at just that moment, there will be little fart bubbles bouncing all over the room. And that's not right. So that's science. I'm a very scientific comic. I like to be relatable. That's really my specialty, being relatable. Like ladies. We're all ladies here. We're all ladies here. Ever watch your scrotum move on its own? It's terrifying. It's creepy. It's like Little Shop of Horrors. But I found a way to make it less disturbing for myself. What I do is I just play like poorly rendered nature recordings, and then it's like kinetic painting, you know, and I can pretend that the ripples are a lake and all the pubes are just happy little trees, and then it's quite pleasant. My strategy to it.
Oh my God.
So, like I said, relatable. I'm always being relatable. That's my focus, always finding relatable materials. Like ladies. All right, let's try this again. So I say ladies, you say what? All right, so ladies.
What?
Ever fart on a dude's dick? Do it. Try it tonight. Fart on a dude's dick. I just find someone. I know it's hard because of like the COVID and things, but you have to be brave. You have to be brave. Find a dude tonight. Fart on his dick. It will change the power dynamic forever. It's how we're ending the patriarchy. Come with me, sisters. Fart on dudes' dicks. The dick doesn't even have to be in you. It's better that way. Like you're just watching TV, right? You're just Netflix and chilling. And then you just like rub up next to him, you know, body roll your way out of your sweatpants. Fart on his dick. That's thank you for coming to my TED Talk. That's the entire reason I came here tonight, just to share that information with you. But luckily, I do have a partner somehow. I love my partner so much. My partner understands me better than anyone. The first night they had me over to their place. They prepared this elaborate salad, and you know, it wasn't like a normal salad. It was a gourmet salad. You know, it had like fish, it had croutons, tomatoes, olives, rich people lettuce. Because let's be honest with ourselves, rich people do have better lettuce, right? Like I'm a comedian. All I ever eat is the shredded iceberg in a bag. But like rich people got fancy lettuce, like arugula and kale and shit. Yeah, it was a bomb-ass salad, but we got through the eating part of the date, and we got to the sexy part of the date, which is not my favorite part of a date, because I have a complex relationship with sex, because I have the same relationship with sex that I do with money. It says I don't really like it, but it's how I pay for things. So it's the same basic concept for me. So, you know, and the other thing is, like, if I'm being honest, I don't necessarily want a vagina. I just definitely don't want a penis, if that makes sense. I just want nothing there, like the next generation thigh gap. That's really the look I'm going for. I just want to look really skinny. That's the goal. And my partner, we're getting hot and heavy, you know, we're getting intimate. And they were dodging the landmine that is my lower body. And, you know, they intuitively knew that I, being a good God-fearing American, like large hard things in my booty hole. So my partner intuitively stuck finger in there, which was very sweet, but also a bit like trying to fuck the Grand Canyon with the Yorkshire Terrier. So it's like adorable. It's adorable, but completely pointless. So,
oh my God.
So I just casually mentioned to my partner ownership of a double-sided dildo, and my partner then just like sat back and waited for me to get it from my purse as if I just look like someone that would carry a sex toy at all times. And it's just nice to be seen. That's the point of the story. My partner just understood me in that moment, and we've been in love ever since. We have a lot of unique connections. For example, we have similar body types, similar genders, identical faces, and the best sex either of us have ever had, which is slightly narcissistic, because what I'm actually saying is every other sexual experience I've ever had has been phenomenal had it not been for the other participant. That's the whole issue. I just want another me. My point is, go out and fuck your clone. That's all I'm saying. If you have a clone, you can fuck it because you can give yourself implied consent. I think that's science. Is that science? KJ, is that science?
I'm not sure.
Okay, it's science now. It's 2020. I can say whatever I want. Did you know, for example, fact, all chemtrails are made entirely of pure cocaine. I just made that up, but it's a fact now because I said it. So we're just going to go with it. Fuck it. Why not? You know what? Joe Biden just saved the future. Fuck it. We can just say what we want, right? Thank God for those trailblazing cops. Anyhow, I'm sorry. I didn't want to say, I don't say anything political. I am not a political comic. I want to be very clear that I do not hate the police in any way. The police do very important things for society, like give me something to run from. It keeps me fit. Something to shoot at. It's good for target practice.
That you just didn't say, and who would have thought it'd be?
Was that Alanis Morissette?
I don't know.
Is everyone as confused as I am?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God! I was afraid
Yes.
I was just on acid.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. That was something from you. I can't see nobody.
All right, no worries. It happens. It happens. I think we may have gotten Zoom bombed, or someone was so offended by me implying the murder of police officers that they played Alanis Morissette in protest, which, by the way, is the strangest protest ever. It's amazing, and I'm here for it. I am actually a big fan of protests. Sometimes I feel I'm too ready for a protest, because, like he said, I'm in Portland. We're always ready for a protest. And I was driving to work the other morning because I'm a poor, so I still have to do that. So I was driving to work, and I was stopped at a traffic light when this old black gentleman pulled up next to me on a bicycle, and as he turned out in front of me, he threw up the black fist of solidarity. And naturally, I threw up the black fist of solidarity in return, and watched with pride. Really, Alanis is very baffling. I mean, we all love Alanis. We all love a good... Oh, found it and muted. Success! Yay! I don't even need to know who it was. I'm not... Here's the thing. You're lucky I even knew it was Alanis Morissette. I'm not good at knowing who white people are. So my partner and I were actually polyamorous, which is our adorable way of saying monogamous, but we know my level of codependency is unhealthy. So anyhow, shortly before the whole quarantine thing got so hot and popular, I'm not down with the Fed, but anyhow, shortly before the whole quarantine took off, I went on this date with this charming young gentleman who attempted to engage me in a conversation about his favorite classical composers. And I asked if Beethoven was the one who cut his ear off, which he was not. Apparently, that was some guy named Vincent van Gogh. That's fair. In my defense, Both are 2 dead white dudes, so I don't care. Anyhow, you've been great, and I love you. Have a good night.
That was epic.
Everyone keep it going for Dalia Bell, joining us from Portland, Oregon. She didn't make it weird at all. Not at all. No, I fucking love that. That was amazing. Great fucking set. Let's get another great set going. Oh my God, you guys, another one of my most favorite comedians that I share mics with like all the gosh dang time. Look at me being all like suburban house mom talking all cool and stuff. No, I was trying to censor myself, but who the fuck am I kidding, man? Most of the baking I do has weed in it. All right. Let's keep the party going. She is one of the hosts of the Red Mic from Rampantly on Friday nights, 8 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Central. But tonight, she is here with us. So put your hands together. Joining us from Dallas, Texas, we've got Charlotte Parker.
Hello, everybody. Super happy to be here. Tell you a little bit about me. People usually assume when they first see this face that I'm Irish, Catholic, and straight when I'm actually Jewish, queer, and depressed. Which in comedy is just called being a triple threat, so if anything, that's an advantage. I'm the token Jew at work, which has its ups and downs. Sometimes I notice things that other people don't. I work at a children's theater, and they rent out space to other people sometimes, and they rented out one of their theaters recently to this really sweet family for their son's bar mitzvah. But the bar mitzvah was scheduled during our opening night performance of Sound of Music Jr. And for anyone who's not familiar with Sound of Music, Act 2 features a lot of, how do I put this lightly, Nazis.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, tiny children dressed as Nazis, which is adorable, but still problematic. So while this kid is up on stage, doing his speech about becoming a man and making his family proud, at that moment, they could turn and look out the door to watch these little Nazi nuggets trotting by to chase the Von Trapp family into the Alps. So I had to warn them about that. Last year, I got to direct The Diary of Anne Frank with older kids. Obviously, this was not a little kid show. There were no Nazi nuggets in this one. But my boss called me asking if I wanted to direct it. And I said, yeah, I'd love to. And he goes, cool. It's not just because you're the only Jew on staff. Please don't sue us. I'm like, okay. Got plenty of other reasons to sue anyway. But I was excited, so I'm going around promoting the show, making sure I get enough students signed up. And I told this one parent, she went, oh, Diary of Anne Frank, cool. Is that a play or a musical? And there was this awkward pause where I realized she was serious. So I explained to her that it's a play and managed to somehow move on with my day. And then later that week, another parent asked me that same question. So I sat down that night and I started writing Anne Frank the musical. I mean, it's going to happen eventually, and I think at least when it does, a Jew should write it. I think it's going to be the best musical since Fiddler. I'm really excited.
Musical.
Yeah, it's going to be a jukebox musical too. It'll be all Beatles songs. Yeah, some of them I didn't even get to change at all, like Hey Jude. And Help, because I mean, you got to have that, obviously. But there's a few I made some changes to, like, hey, you've got to hide your Jews away. And then there's Don't Let Me Downstairs. And then, of course, the closing number, Here Comes the Son of a Nazi.
Oh my God.
Very excited. Every time I tell that joke, if you listen really closely, you can actually hear my ancestors rolling over in their graves. Fun fact, I'm definitely going to hell. So anyway, I work with little kids, and I teach a lot of our K-2 classes at the Children's Theater. So 5 to 7-year-olds, which is super fun, partly because I have no filter whatsoever. I was going over the rules once at the beginning of a class, and we got to rule number 3, keep your hands and feet to yourself. And so I turn to the kids and I say, what does that mean? And immediately the girl raises her hand like, ooh. And so I call on her and she goes, no kicking people in the vagina. like, well, yeah, I mean, I was going to say no kicking like in general, because kind of thought that was a given. And I realized what must have happened is that she kicked some kid in the vagina. An adult told her, you're not allowed to do that. And she thought, oh, this is an obscure rule. I need to go inform everyone. And the rest of us are like, no, we kind of assumed that. But just in case I get other students like her, I've added some vaginal addendums or vagendums to all of the class rules. I think it'll be very useful. There's no shouting in the vagina. No chewing gum in the vagina. If you have a snack in the vagina, make sure you clean up all your crumbs. All parts in there. Cough or sneeze in your elbow, not your vagina. Very important. Sharing the vagina is caring. And last but not least, if you have something to say, raise your hand in the vagina, but start with 1 or 2 fingers. And that is my time. Thank you guys so much. I'm Charlotte Parker.
Jeez, keep it going for Charlotte Parker out of Dallas, Texas. Oh my God, my 2 most favorite words I've heard tonight is Nazi nuggets.
Oh my God.
I mean, and I'm gonna try really hard. Like, I am refraining. I'm holding so hard. I'm holding back to not make the honey mustard gas joke that I really want to make. Because you know that would be the choice dipping sauce, but I'm not gonna do it, you guys. I've got more tact than that. All right. Yeah, speaking of tact, all right, we are going to take this up to Northern California, up in the Sacramento Bay Area. One of my good friends, she's actually one of my pen pals. That's not some bullshit. That's a real corny ass thing that we do. Put your hands together for my friend, soon to be yours, Jacqui Pirl.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh my God, give it up for the real awesome women tonight. This is killer. This is epic. I love this. I want to tell you that I think I was ahead of the curve, because even before COVID, I never liked to do the handshakes when I got up on stage. I just didn't like that. And there is a reason for that, folks. Every hand you've ever shook has probably had a dick in it. And my problem is I don't know whose. Like, you know, it could have been their own a few minutes ago. But yeah, no thanks. I've been through a lot of changes recently. I had a COVID birthday, as most of us will do if we were born after February. I turned 55 on April Fool's Day. Yeah, give it up. I haven't died once yet. Yeah, I divorced my cheating husband. I was married for 25 years. He actually is a pharmacist. And I found out at year 23 that he was prescribing himself an awful lot more Xanax, OxyContin, and strippers than I was comfortable with. And he didn't even invite me to that party. I mean, that's where he screwed up. We could have had a good time. He left me out of that whole deal, you know? And then after living in Honolulu, Hawaii for 33 years, I decided to move to Sacramento. Yeah, because my life did not suck enough at that point. I just figured, you know what, grab that barrel of kerosene, start the whole damn thing on fire. We'll start over, see what happens, and blew it up. And then I decided to do stand-up comedy because that's a really sound financial choice for those of you who don't know. Yeah, making good decisions here. What I'm telling you is I make really bad life decisions. But the week I moved to California legalized weed. It's not even legal in Hawaii. It's like our state flower. But the week I moved here, it was so funny. I woke my 15-year-old daughter up to go to high school in the morning, and she walked out. There's a few things we don't have in Hawaii. We don't have fog, and we don't have legalized weed. And she walked out, and she couldn't even see the garage from our house. And she just looks up, and she goes, well, California, that's what you get for legalizing weed. It was so foggy, she couldn't see it. Yeah, so anyway, I raised 3 kids. I raised them for export. They pay their own cell phone bills. They pay their own rent. It's awesome. If you ever have kids, you ought to freaking try it. It's the best. But back when I was raising kids, I used to tell them, hey, kids, you know what? Don't ever talk to a stranger online. Don't ever get in a stranger's car. Very solid advice for kids. And kids, don't do drugs, right? Nowadays, I come home, I'd kick off my boots, I tell my adult daughter, Mommy went online, she called you an Uber, get in that strange fucker's car, go down to the dispensary and bring Mommy some blueberry yum yum. She's had a tough day. It's a whole new world out here. Like everything is, I feel like Rip Van Winkle. The whole world has changed. I'm dating for the first time since 1989. That's when I met my ex. Yes, some of you weren't even born yet. I see. Yeah, look at his eyes. Monty's like, what? No, I was, yeah. So, I mean, this is how old I am. My mother woke me up for the actual moon landing. I was 4, watching it on a black and white TV with the rabbit ears and the whole tinfoil and all that. Yes, this is how old I am. So this is a whole new world for me. I have not been single since 1989. I'm dating for the first time. It is so bizarre. On one hand, I have my adult kids setting up my dating profile because they know more about the internet than I do. And you could tell whose side of the divorce they were on. And on the other hand, I have my 78-year-old mother trying to set me up with her widowed friends so that I'll move back to Minnesota, don't you know? Oh, yeah, sure, you betcha. And take care of her in her old age. This is my mother. Oh, Jacqui, don't you know? I saw Norm the other day. Yeah, sure, you betcha. His wife died. You should call him. What? Like, what? Mom, I'm 55 years old. Stop trying to pimp me out. It's insane. The funny thing is, if I went out with all the old men my mother thinks I should go out with, I would actually be the slut she thinks I am. So I can't win. I can't win. I'm learning a whole new set of vocabulary. I was on the phone with a comic the other day, and I said, oh, yeah, we'll hook up after the show. And my adult daughter goes, Mom, do you know what hookup means? And I said, yeah, it means we're going to get high and talk about comedy after the show. And she said, no, Mom, hookup means fuck. So Tara, I am so sorry. We are not hooking up after the show. I've had to apologize to so many people. It's become a problem. DMs, didn't know about those before. You know, these people, they don't have to know your phone number or your email. They just find you on social media and they slide in like a 12-year-old going to a water park for the first time. It's insane. It's like a never-ending hot dog eating contest where the prize is just more hot dogs. You know, it's like, get out of my DMs with your flight of dicks, dudes. I don't want to see that. I really don't. I will tell you this. I have figured out at the age of 55 how to keep a millennial in bed. You want to know, ladies? I have no idea how to get one there yet, but I know how to keep one if I ever do. Okay, so I'm planning ahead here for once in my life. It's 3 easy steps. Number 1, install a PS5 in the bedroom. Duh, right? My son told me that if a dude gives you your own controller, you're basically new age engaged, kind of like, not gonna play with anybody else, baby, just you. Number 2, I would offer to cook for them because millennials have no idea how to cook, no clue. They have no idea how to cook. They think a microwave pizza is a homemade meal. Let them think that. Number 3, I would offer to do their laundry. I wouldn't actually do their laundry. I'm not stupid. You know, I would. It's the old 1960s swimming hole trick. Like you take it, hide it so they're naked till you want them to leave. Febreze it, throw it back at them, you know. But I managed about a year ago to get one of these lovely creatures in my house. I was so excited. But then I'm old, so I forgot about him and I went out to do a show on a mic. And I came back 5 hours later, you guys. The dude was still naked in my bed, eating a Hot Pocket, playing Red Dead Redemption 2. I was like, what the hell, dude? And he just looks at me and goes, meh, guess I live here now. because they don't know how to pay rent either, evidently, right? And that's when mommy mode kicked in, and I was like, oh, hell no, player one. Game over. You had enough screen time. Go home. So I screwed that one up. I'll tell you this, though. I don't know what I'm doing out here dating. I have no idea. I'm basically sexually autistic after being married for 25 years. But I do know how to have a good time. And I went back to Honolulu, and I was hanging out with a bunch of girlfriends. And we were dressed to the nines, and we were out. I mean, these are women who have known each other for 30 plus years. Like, we have raised kids together. We have buried parents. We have buried husbands. Shh, I know where the bodies are, okay? I mean, we're tight. And we're out there, and we're, you know, dancing and hanging out. My 56-year-old girlfriend's in a tiny little white mini skirt. I guess you guys call it like cougaring. Is that the cool term? We're out there cougaring. She's on a dance floor with some dude that looks like he walked off the set of Baywatch, right? Like, holy dick print in those surf shorts guy. And she goes into the bathroom. This is only because it's the ladies. I'm gonna share this with you. She goes in the bathroom. She comes out about 15 minutes later, and she says to us, "Oh my God, I think I have my period." You guys, this isn't supposed to happen. She's 56 years old. She's old enough to be your grandmother, right? So I looked at her and I said, okay, girl, you know what? You grew up poor and Catholic. You know what to do. Ladies, you know this. You march your ass back in that bathroom. You grab that toilet paper. You pull down the banana hammock. You wrap, you tuck, and we're good to party for another 4 hours. Don't fuck up my only night out, right? So she goes off. And this woman, she proceeds to do 7 shots of tequila. 7, you guys. 7. Do you blame her? She's 56 years old. She's got her period. There's no chocolate in the house. So I have to sober my ass out to drive her home. So I get her in the car, her own car. I buckle her in, and she says to me, Jacqui, I'm gonna light a cigarette. And I said, I don't give a crap. It's your car. You do whatever you want. So she lights that cigarette, but she's too drunk to roll down that window. And she goes to ash it, and that ash falls off, and she proceeds to light her own crotch on fire, you guys, with that Molotov cocktail wick that is her makeshift tampon. I'm driving 80 down the road screaming, fire in the hole! Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole! I'm hitting her with her purse, my purse. Finally, I grab her wig, and I'm trying to put this crap out, right? It won't go out. I screech over to the side of the road. I strip her from the waist down. I put her out with some water. And finally I said, girl, you aren't going to remember shit in the morning, but you can cancel that wax appointment. You've been waxed. And that is my time for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for having me.
Holy crap. My vagina hurts after that story. Let this be a lesson to you people. This is why we groom. You let shit get out of control. There's fucking brush fires happening. I mean, you gotta keep the forest floors clean, all right? Don't even listen to Smokey the Bear anymore, all right? Take it from me. Just whatever the fuck mess this is. All right. We are going to bring it on over to my neck of the woods. Our next comedian is coming to you from Seattle, Washington. Probably my neighbor. I don't know. I haven't left my house in God knows how long, and I'm pretty sure my neighbors think I'm dead. But this is a really weird introduction, but this person's not dead. I don't even know anymore. You guys, this next comedian is fantastic. I've actually seen her live. I will call myself a fan, and you're about to do the same. Put your hands together for Jacqui Terjeson.
Woo! Hello. I even have a fake mic just to make it, you know, like also now I can do like a wax at home. That Jacqui. All the wax places are closed. Get a little fire, a containment situation. So good. So quarantine's kind of hanging around, huh? This pandemic doesn't seem to be going anywhere. I've been going to the park like every day just to get out. I don't really mind though, because like a kid on a swing is the only way you can push them. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. I had to make sure you guys heard me talking about pushing my kid. So no, I mean, it is good for everyone. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, mama needs this. Get up there. Fine. My kid's always like, Mom, it's too high. And I'm like, this isn't about you. Great. I love my kids. They're awesome. I have 3 kids. I always remember when I was younger and I would say like, I can't wait to have kids one day. And I meant one day, you guys. It's turning out to be a little longer than I thought it would be. Yeah. Parenting school. Are there any parents? Show of hands. Who's a parent here? All right. Parenting's hard. Like, it is frustrating, you know, like, especially when you have babies and they're not sleeping. You guys remember that? So frustrating. I do want to be clear with you guys. I've never shaken a baby. Okay. Although I have burped one very aggressively. You know, think of it less as like a smack and more of like a really enthusiastic, just pat on the back. You know, just like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. You cried for an hour and you were so loud at it too. Great. Some of you look nervous. Listen, it's only wrong if you don't get a burp. Okay. I think that's CPS that says that. It's fine. I'm in Seattle's neck of the woods. I'm actually in Tacoma, Washington. It's a little different here too. Like, I had to get used to it because they do this super weird thing where every day is pajama day. Like, everyone is in on it. It's super weird. Like, just the other day, I saw this guy. I was like, listen, I get that this is super serious, but I am so distracted by your onesie, officer. Like, so casual. I bought a house in an up-and-coming neighborhood, which I found out later is realtor talk for really shitty. It's like all that means, because I've been robbed multiple times since I moved there, but that's just Tacoma's way of hazing you, you know? It's like, yeah, I get it. I belong. Stop. I want to keep my stuff. It's fine. I think my favorite time that I was robbed, like, if I had to choose, you know, was when someone stole plants out of my yard, you guys. Like, out of the ground. Literally, they dug them up. Which, like, Tacoma is super committed, you know? Like, they're not going to work hard at, like, a job, but they're going to work super hard to steal shit, which is cool, I guess. I never figured out who they were, but I know that they were local because I could see the slipper tracks in the yard. So that's great. Okay, so we're in this pandemic, which is really boring. When it first started, a lot of people were talking about, like, Shakespeare. Oh my God, he wrote King Lear during the Spanish flu. And they were, like, all super impressed. What that says to me is Shakespeare was not taking care of any children, right? Because I wrote all of these jokes, these semi-formed jokes, while quarantined with 3 kids under 5, right? So who's a literary genius now? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, people are, like, so excited that Shakespeare wrote these jokes in wrote the book in isolation, right? Like, isn't that what authors do? They, like, go somewhere and write a book. Like, that's like me saying, like, oh my God, you guys should be so excited because, like, during this isolation, like, my anxiety and depression really grew. Like, it was so great. These are good. These are going really good. Okay, so this is my last new joke, but if I had to go back in time, like, if, you know, we couldn't have planned this, but if I could go back in time to, like, 2005 me, you know, and, you know, whatever. I think that I would just look myself in the eye and I'd be like, girl, do not throw that juicy sweatpants away, okay? You are really gonna need that in 2020. So I am a millennial. I do know how to cook. Woo! Toot my own horn. But I can prove my millennialism. I've had 22 jobs in my life, you guys. 22. And you know what that says about me, like as a person? It says that I give a kick-ass interview, you guys. Yeah. Like at least 22 of them, right? Yeah. Like I'm not gonna stick around and like do the work. Jacqui. But you will hire the hell out of me, right? Hiring me is a lot like online shopping because it only takes at least an hour for the boss to be like, this is not fitting like I thought it would. And why is there so much side boob? Wasn't expecting that. Technically, I have had 23 jobs if you count my current one, which I already tried to quit, you guys. Just to stay on brand. One guy, though, got really uncomfortable in the meeting. One guy started crying. Yeah, and the other guy looked at me and he shit his pants.
Oh my.
Yeah, so I guess I'll be a stay-at-home mom a little longer. Like if you want me that bad, you know, if you're gonna shit about it, God, I'll stay. It is a little flattering, if I'm gonna be honest. I do like telling people I'm a stay-at-home mom because there's such a stigma around house arrest. Which is a shame. I used to, before I had kids, I used to be really judgmental. Like I remember I'd see like a trashy house and my first thought would be like, oh my God, these guys are like cooking meth over here. So bad, right? But I know that I've changed because the other day, you guys, I saw someone doing meth and I was like, parenting's hard. I get it. You know, we all gotta have our me time. Fine. I do like to think of myself as an upbeat person because I'm really good at keeping things positive, especially pregnancy tests. Like so good at that. I had 2 kids in 18 months, you guys.
Oof.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yes. Having kids that close together is like surviving Black Friday at the Walmart. It's like you're happy with what you get, but you're still tore up from the floor up. Yeah. When we had our first kid, people gave us like a ton of like cute baby gifts. And when our second was born, we got a ton of birth control pamphlets. People were like, honey, do you know how this is happening? I'll leave this right here. I recently, I actually would like to share with you guys that I am actually 7 months clean and sober. Woo! Thank you. Of being pregnant! Hell yes. It feels good. I have a 7-month-old baby, and being pregnant, you know, you learn a lot about yourself. For me, mostly how big of an alcoholic I am, right? Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. You're not going to drink anything for the most part, or are you? When you have your first kid, you say a lot of things like, oh my God, I'm so excited. When you're pregnant with your second, you're like, this is awesome. I know how this goes, you know? And then on your third, you just say a lot of things like, well, this 40 isn't going to finish itself. It's fine. You guys look nervous again a little bit. Let me explain. I view drinking while pregnant a lot like getting the flu shot while you're pregnant, okay? You want to build up their tolerance for the outside world, okay? I don't want my kid to be a fucking loser, is what I'm saying. Gonna drink any of you under the table. It's fine. No, they're great. My kids are great. When you get pregnant, you always have like at least one friend who's like, oh my God, don't worry. Like your body's just going to bounce back. But I want to tell you guys to get new friends. You're liars. Your body will bounce. Just not the good kind, you know. One time I was at a show and a guy like leaned forward and pointed to his wife and was like, yeah.
No.
So that joke officially divorced someone. I don't know. I feel proud about that. Your body does, it just gets weird. My stomach was just confused after all the stretching, you know. It's just like, so now it just like reinvented itself as a butt, which there's like a crack in everything. It's cute. I'll leave you guys with this beautiful image. My body after having 3 adorable babies is a lot like when they open a restaurant in old Denny's building, because everybody recognizes it, but nobody goes in anymore. Yeah, no more grand slams for me. Is what I'm saying. But I still smell like maple syrup and old cigarettes. So lose. All right, I've been Jacqui Terjeson.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Keep it going for Jacqui Terjeson out of Tacoma, Washington, land of PJs all day. Oh God, you know, that is some harsh truth she speaks. I think I may have been the only one laughing at that because I've seen it. It's true. It's comfortable. I think they're onto something there. So you know what? Let's take a note out of the Tacoma book. Just, you know, use an air freshener or something. Okay, so enough trash talk about our sister cities, you know. Let's take this over to the Chicago area. We're about to bring you our headliner, so you guys get excited.
Woo, woo, woo.
I know, right? I'm from Chicago and everything, so the Windy City. You guys grab your windbreakers. Let's give a big, huge, warm welcome to KJ Whitehead.
Woo!
Hello, it's so great to see you all. I am from Chicago. I too am a millennial. I know how to cook too, do stuff. I pay my rent. So I don't pay my phone bill. That's one thing I will admit to. I don't. I just, tough times. I lost my job to COVID. Tough times. But I am from Chicago and specifically the south side of Chicago. And the south side of Chicago, they say you got to be tough. And I am. You should totally see my dildo collection. I am so fucking tough. It's behind the flag right now, but it's like keeping every other PG 13, I guess. A lot of gibberish. Let me start over. So, a while back actually October was my Laugh Factory debut. So I was really excited about that. After doing stuff for like 7 years, I finally got that. I was really happy. And of course, like it was the last show to happen before we had to close down again. So still happy to do it. But did the show. But the thing about it, I was the only trans person in the entire lineup. So naturally, this was a different kind of gender reveal party. I think that's perfect for me. You don't know what you got, but you know it was interesting. Yeah, I am a trans woman. I've been out for quite a while, but still, even so, I feel like Queen Latifah, but I know I still look like Don Cheadle in Cheap Drag. Yeah, you don't remember that part of Avengers Endgame at all, but I assure you it's in there. War Machine, more like Fierce Machine. It's just right there. But things have been. Let's talk about what's been going on. What's still going on? Politics. No one wants to be a political comedian. In Chicago, I call myself the queen of radical comedy. I don't have a choice. But what's been going on between the two parties? First of all, have you noticed that when Democrats and Republicans, they both see each other as snowflakes? That's number one. Secondly, Democratic Party, Republican Party, Green Party. Have you noticed that everyone in all of these parties are just miserable? So it's just a thought. So I'm like, why do they even call them parties? This is the first time I've done stand-up in 3 weeks. The biggest point about me bringing up these parties is that wherever you stand politically is whatever, but if you're a Democrat, fine, I'll shake your hand. If you're a Republican, fuck you very much, but fine, I'll shake your hand. But I just can't shake your hand if it's all the way up here. That's where I draw the line. The election happened was another thing between Biden and Trump. Of course, I wasn't going to vote for I wasn't going to vote for Donald Trump, I should clarify. But at the very same time, voting for Joe Biden felt like giving a white male comic permission to say nigga on stage. Only he feels like he didn't need permission because he has a black woman next to him. But still, overall, life for BIPOC people or anyone of color, life in America continues to be for them what it is like to take a sip of LaCroix thinking it would taste like Sprite. I've been the only person who have done that, apparently. As I said, I did lose my job to, your mic is a little muted. Oh, then I'll come up here. I did lose my job to the pandemic. That happened before the pandemic. I was a kindergarten aide, so I took care of children, 75, 5 and 6 year olds, for 5 days a week. So I do know what hell is like. Thank you so much for asking. So. But I did get in trouble while I was working one day, and it wasn't because of anything I said or did. It was because of the shoes I was wearing. I was wearing these shoes that were all white, but they had Sharpie writings on them. So it says stuff like Black Lives Matter, capitalism sucks, all cops are bastards, because they fucking are. And then it had stuff like no TERFs, no swerves, no TERFs, no trans exclusionary radical feminists. Now, I have no problem explaining that to anyone at work. But then comes the no swerves part, SW. And then if a student asks, that puts me in a position to explain what a sex worker is. And no matter how old you are, that is not a trip anyone wants to take to the principal's office. But I do support sex workers, though. And I've had partners who are sex workers who used to be sex workers. I say partners because polyamory and non-monogamy is a thing. And if you want to disappoint your parents, you might as well do it with 5 different people. But yeah, as I said, I do support sex workers, but I've never been in a kind of transaction with a sex worker myself. But if I have, I would prefer to be with a big, strong woman who can pick me up and throw me on a bed. And that, my friends, is the best kind of Amazon Prime. All right, slowly getting it back. It's been a while. But yeah, just speaking politically and whatnot, one thing that talking politics, one thing that's happened in my career so far is that there's been a rumor about me, an ugly, nasty rumor about me that went around the Chicago comedy scene, that I hate white people because of the jokes I make about race at their expense. This is true, though, but let me explain why. One thing, people have been saying it about me for years, that I hate white people. I'm like, fine, sure. But the one thing I hate more than white people are white people who say that they hate other white people. Because I know none of you see color, but come on. But of course, with joking about white people so much also comes with mostly white males who want to say whatever they want to say about me. They, you know, as I said, they like to call me Snowflake, which confuses me because I thought snowflakes were white. But remember, we had the alt-right or white nationalist groups, which these are the politically correct terms for Nazis. And as a Black trans woman, I too support political correctness, so I don't want to be rude. But one of them came out, it was a representative that came out and said, well, if we look at the NAACP, clearly Black people have the right to that. So why don't we have a WAACP? So basically you want a white association for the advancement of colored people. That is exactly why you don't have that. Furthermore, we already have a WAACP. You know, they made the movie Green Book.
Oh.
But I did one thing on topic of race, so I do want to bring up when it comes to the kids I used to take care of before the pandemic, was that before I took care of kindergartners most of the time, I was around second and third graders. And one time I was outside during recess with a third grader. Her name is Simone. And I'll never forget this conversation as long as I live. So Simone came up to me and said, Miss KJ, I want to be white. And this is a little Black girl. She's 9 years old. And I never thought I would come across a conversation like this. And then she followed it up with, another kid told me that my skin looks like poop. Yes, this is still happening. This still happens. Because I'm like, we could be so, think about it. We need to actually help our Black and brown kids know that their worth and know how much they mean. And Black folks could definitely be so much worse. Look, I've been protesting for quite some time during this pandemic. I've been called nigger, lazy, faggot, all of the above, all those things. And we can actually uphold this idea of what the nigger is in America, apparently to white folks. But even worse than that, and even worse than all of those things combined, we could be white guys named Keith. I feel like we could be so much worse. And for anyone who's watching on Facebook, if you are a white man named Keith, I'll tell you, there's nothing special about you. I honestly do believe that there's nothing special about you at all. You know, you could tell me, well, KJ, what if there's a transgender man named Keith? Well, let me tell you this. Transgender men are beautiful, fabulous, strong, and handsome, but not one of them would be dumb enough to name himself Keith. But moving, I am from Chicago, as I said earlier. It's getting cold here. We have some hot summers, but it's definitely getting cold here. And I don't know if anyone's been in Chicago and experienced our winter, but no, February is our worst month. Like December, It gets cold. February is way worse. What happens in February is that, say you're in Chicago, you're walking by a building, you're walking down the street by a building, and it's so cold that harsh wind is about to come from when you turn the corner. And when you do turn the corner, that harsh wind comes and calls you bitch ass nigga and then keeps going. That's how harsh the winter is in Chicago. And it's February, so it's only right that the wind calls you that. If any other month called you that, it'd get canceled. Apparently not June though, because it's gay, so apparently they get a pass. I saw Dolly's reaction to that. Yep, white gays be fucking it up, honestly. A while back, I will bring this up. A while back, I stopped doing Zoom shows for a while. I was trying to focus on myself. I'm trying to get back into stand-up after taking a longer break. But one thing that happened is that I was doing a Zoom show back in June. I think it was June or July. And I was doing this show, and right in the middle of my set, we had a Zoom bomber who played a clip of a whole bunch of like racist like comments from a Klansman. And then after that recording, this man said, "Whitehead, you're a fucking man. Don't lie. You're a man. You're not fooling anyone. We can see it. You're a fucking man." And that really spoke to me, so much so that the next day I was still feeling that. So I woke up, and then, you know, I didn't put on any makeup. I didn't even put on my bra. I put on jeans and a t-shirt, and I wanted to stand in front of the mirror in my bathroom to see if there was any means of masculinity that was still there that I felt. But honestly, I just looked like the butch lesbian that I wish would ask me out every once in a while. That was where I was. That's how I felt. Overall, I'm looking for a girlfriend who can just beat me in arm wrestling. That's the sexiest thing for me. That's what I want. That is what I truly want, to be picked up and then just. All right, we're getting too much in my sexual interest right now. But yeah, I've been looking for more affirming things when it comes to just being out about myself, and then seeking hormones, stuff like that. One thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to get a more affirming name. Legally, I will change my name soon, and it's just like, it just so happens that this affirming name is actually my stage name, KJ Whitehead. Because here's the thing. Well, number one, before I start, never ask a trans person for their dead name, ever. Just please don't. With that said, here is how willing I am to be vulnerable with you. Here's how dedicated I am to being Black. My dead name is Kyle Joseph Whitehead. That is my name. That is the name I was given at birth. I gave up the whitest name in the English language for Cuchicigulia Juniper Whitehead. So when white people say Cuchicigulia 3 times fast, their racist grandparents get a stroke. That is what I want. That will bring me joy. Do you know what hear me out. Do you know what Cuchicigulia means? Do you know what it means? It is the second day of Kwanzaa. It is Swahili for self-determination. I became so determined never to get hired for another job in my fucking life.
Jesus Christ.
And white people are like, oh, the employers don't judge you for your names. They don't judge you for your names at all. They don't just throw out your resume because of your name. Well, I've never met a CEO of anything named Shaniqua. So let's talk about that shit for a second. Well, it's already been a second or 20. I've been doing one thing that's kept me away from comedy and trying to get back into it was I've been dealing with a lot of mental struggle. Well, for one, today was the first time I took an antidepressant, the first time I took one in 11 years. And I'm 28 now. The last time I took one was when I was 17. And yeah, I started taking pills. And to help you out with where I was mentally, to give you an idea, was the fact that I want to bring up a fact that I had a pet fish named Toaster. That's the most adorable name you can give a fish. And it's because he liked to jump out of his tank. You know, but the thing about it is when it comes to Toaster, it's not the most exhilarating toaster I've ever dropped into water, but it certainly is the safest. That's showing you where where I've been mentally. Honestly, I have one thing that has been getting to me was that I have been thinking of what life would be like if I was dead. You know, I've been dealing with depression since I was 10, and then PTSD followed. You know, that's how I've been feeling, and I've had that feeling for a long time. And I started thinking it's probably better if I was. It's just something that's been within me. And why? And I'll give an example as to why maybe it's probably better if I wasn't here. I am one of 3 children. If I was not born, my mother's vagina would still look amazing. Like I have done so many bad things. I had a guinea pig named Truffles, and I killed them. That guinea pig should still be alive. It was an accident, but I still blame myself. I miss Truffles. I see this is as far as it gone, huh? Suicide jokes. This is as far as they could happen. Well, if anything, I will leave you with this one story, since I'll double down on this. A while back, and this was the last time I called the National Suicide Hotline. And the last time I called the National Suicide Hotline, which I try to do just to help myself, because that's what you're supposed to do. I called. This was the conversation. National Suicide Hotline. Hi, I was thinking about hurting myself or possibly killing myself, and I was looking for help. All right. What's your name? KJ. All right, KJ, do you have a therapist? Yes, I do. All right, KJ, talk to your therapist, okay? And then he hung up. I was so mad, I didn't even want to hurt myself anymore. Like, this is some bullshit. I want to talk to your manager. What the fuck is this? I was so pissed, I wanted to write a Yelp review. A Yelp review and a suicide letter. The National Suicide Hotline and myself 1 star.
Oh, God.
Coming back to doing stand-up comedy, especially online, is fucking tough. But thank you for those who are patient with me. Thank you for having me. I'm KJ Whitehead. Good night.
Yes.
Everyone, keep it going for KJ Whitehead. Jesus. Oh, I called a suicide hotline once. They told me to hang in there. And yeah, it's not a great pun for that kind of phone line. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
KJ, you're a beautiful woman. I'm so glad you're here. That was a wonderful set. Thank you so much. Thank you again to all of our comedians that were on the show. You are a bunch of ridiculously amazing women. Give it up again for Anna Lorenz, Lydi Otis, Dalia Bell, Charlotte Parker, Jacqui Pirl, Jackie Terjeson, and KJ Whitehead. This was a fantastic lineup. I'm so proud to be your host. I am Tara Christian-Weidner of Living Room Comedy. This show was brought to you by SuitMan Productions, and you can catch us on the second Saturday of every month at 8 p.m. with a whole nother lineup of some ridiculously amazing women. So support live comedy, support women in comedy, because we're fucking awesome. You guys have been a great audience. Have a fantastic night, you guys. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Night.